All right, good afternoon everyone. Welcome out here to Woodland Park and this US Amateur Match Play Championship local semifinal between Clint Wright and Jimmy Elkins. Jimmy Elkins has the tee and he will start this match off hole one. And a great backhand shot there by Jimmy Elkins. It flexes out, catches a pretty good breeze at the end, but crashes into the middle of the fairway. So he's in great shape with his tee shot. Here's Clint Wright. And Clint Wright's hugging the left side of the fairway, but it stays in the fairway. Great shot there by Clint Wright. And we're off to an excellent start here in this semifinal matchup. Both of the semifinals this year have been between some of the better competitors in this area that have participated in this competition. So last night we had a great match between Grant Kelly and Seth Singleton, which saw Seth Singleton winning that match, but it was back and forth the whole time, and I would expect us to see a lot of the same today between the power of Clint Wright and the putting finesse of Jimmy Elkins. But as you can see, it's a beautiful day out here at Woodland Park. Temperature's right around 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Mostly sunny skies. The only factor weather-wise that could affect this match is the wind. It's currently out of the south at about 15 miles an hour. It's getting a little bit gusty. You saw it affect Jimmy Elkins' drive there, but fortunately for him, he had enough stability on that disc to where it cut back into the fairway. But both of these competitors are set up for a nice routine approach, and Jimmy Elkins is out, so we'll watch him with his second shot here, hole one. He goes with a forehand approach there. And it is a little low and cut behind a tree down there near the basket. He'll have about 15 feet to the basket for his third shot. So here's Clint Wright with his approach shot, hole number one. Goes with a nice finesse backhand approach, and he has it parked. So the pressure is on Jimmy Elkins here. But like we said earlier, Jimmy Elkins is known for his putting ability. So let's see if he can get that side of his game going early on here. He's going to need it here on hole one. And he has his disc. Looks like he will have a fairly clear line now that we're closer to his lie. And definitely within his range. Here's Jimmy Elkins with his third shot, hole one. And it's in. Great putt there by Jimmy Elkins. And looks like Jimmy's going to let Clint have his third shot. So hole one is a push, both competitors with a three. We'll be at hole two in just a minute. back, hole 2 here at Woodland Park. Match is all square, and this is a 275-foot par 3. Road to the right is out of bounds. Jimmy Elkins still has the tee. And it looks like they're going to have a little bit of a quartering headwind from the right on this tee shot. So here's Jimmy Elkins. He goes with a backhand shot there that curves nicely right up to the basket. He's within 10 feet. Great shot there by Jimmy Elkins. Let's see if Clint Wright can match it here with his drive, hole 2. And he has a backhand there. You can hear Jimmy Elkins yelling, "Get stable." His drive did turn over a bit, but it did stay in bounds. He's going to have a good 30 feet at least back to the basket. And that wind did affect that disc, it looked like. Unfortunately for Clint Wright, he had the disc low enough, had just enough stability to where it could not get out of bounds into the road. But it's good to see both of them safely in the fairway. You couldn't ask for a better day for disc golf. This is one of the few midday rounds we've had in the competition this year, so sunlight shouldn't really be much of a factor as the competitors putt. Only the wind today, and environmentally speaking, should play much of a role here. Okay, here's Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 2. It's up, it's in, dead center. Great putt there by Clint Wright to secure his 2. And Jimmy Elkins sets up. Like we said, he's within 10 feet of the hole. And confidently center chains. So once again, 2 birdies from both competitors. Hole 2 is a push. We're all square. We'll be at hole 3 in just a minute. Welcome back. We're at hole 3 now. It's a par 4 all the way up the hill, 560 feet. Match is still all square, so Jimmy Elkins does have the tee. And he's checking that wind. Once again, it's a little bit of a quartering crosswind from the player's right. Maybe going to more of a direct crosswind at times, but here's Jimmy Elkins, hole 3. And he put a lot of power into that one. It's hugging the left side. Wind kind of blew it there at the end as it crashed just into the rough. So he'll have a little bit of work to do from there. But here's Clint Wright with his drive, hole 3. Clint goes with a big, powerful flex backhand, and it's flexing out nicely, just right at center of the fairway, and he is a good 2/3 of the way to the basket. So powerful drive there by Clint Wright. He has the advantage off the tee here. And we'll have to see if Jimmy Elkins can scramble from the rough. Couldn't see exactly how far into the brush the disc went, but Jimmy will have a little bit of work to do just to get up past where Clint Wright's drive landed. But definitely doable for him based on what we've seen so far in this competition. It's looking like he'll be covered a good distance of the fairway, almost half the fairway. He's about 325 feet from the basket at this point. Let's see if he elects to go with a forehand, or which that kind of looks like it's what Jimmy Elkins is thinking. But let's watch here as Jimmy Elkins makes his second shot, hole 3. And he goes with almost like a roller. Wow, it is standing up and it's curling back toward the basket. He will have a line for an approach. So it would take quite a bit for him to get a 3 on this hole. Not impossible, but this is a window of opportunity for Clint Wright. And like we've said multiple times in our broadcasts so far this year, this match play competition is all about taking advantage of those times when you do have a window of opportunity. So let's see if Clint Wright can capitalize here with his second shot, hole 3. Solid backhand shot there. It's nestled nicely, probably 15 feet from the basket, and he'll have a little bit of a tailwind as he putts. But great shot there by Clint Wright. He definitely seems to have capitalized on that opportunity we referenced earlier. And this putting area here on hole 3 at Woodland Park is one of the highest points of this disc golf course, and it is mostly out in the open, which lends itself to the winds. It's typically the windiest green on the entire course, only rivaled by hole 14's basket, generally speaking. So Jimmy Elkins will be fighting these winds with his shot here on hole 3. And he gave it a good run. It had the power, but floats just past the basket. So here's Clint Wright's opportunity to win hole 3 with a 3. And winds are fairly light, but I would expect Clint Wright to be able to finish this off with a confident putt. Here's Clint Wright with his third shot, hole 3. and it is in. Great three there by Clint Wright. He takes hole 3, is now 1 up. We'll be at hole 4 in just a minute. Okay, we're back, hole 4 here at Woodland Park. This is a par 4, 411 foot long dog leg, and Clint Wright is now 1 up. He has the tee, and so far in this competition, he has always elected to try to go over the trees and aggressively attack the basket for it too. Let's see what Clint Wright decides to do here. Once again, he would have a slight quartering headwind from the right if he elects to go over those trees. You can see him discussing with his caddy what he would like to do, and it looks like he has his disc selected. Checking the wind. And here's Clint Wright, tee shot, hole 4. And he's going for it. Big backhand turnover, and it's crashing out. And it might be just a little short. We'll have to see what he's looking up when we get up there around the bend, but I think he'll be able to get back out in the fairway pretty easily. All right, Jimmy Elkins now with his tee shot, hole 4. Powerful forehand drive there around the bend. Takes a little skip though and jumps up to the left side of the fairway once you round the dog leg. But he will have a look at the basket and an opportunity to lay up for a 3. So a little bit of an unfortunate skip there for Jimmy Elkins, but he will have an opportunity here, especially depending on where Clint Wright's drive over the trees landed. And as we enter the woods here on holes 4 and 5, wind definitely becomes less of a factor. So these holes are going to be more about hitting your lines and trying to get within the circle with these second shots here. So Jimmy Elkins looks like he is out. Here he is with his second shot, hole 4. And great shot there. It lands just next to the basket and slides about 10 feet past, but he'll have a great look at a 3. And Clint Wright did make it out of the woods, it looks like. So he'll have a little bit of a turnover approach for his second shot. Throws the putter, but it hits the tree and stays in the fairway there. He'll have about 40 feet to the basket to try to salvage a 3 here. So this is an opportunity for Jimmy Elkins. try to get this match back to all square. Let's see what he can do, but it's all going to depend on what Clint Wright does with his putter here. So here's Clint Wright to salvage a 3.
Yes, sir.
It's a little right, a little low. So opportunity for Jimmy Elkins here to win hole 4 with a 3. Okay, here's Jimmy Elkins with his 3rd shot, hole 4. Great putt there by Jimmy Elkins. He takes hole 4 with a 3, and we are now all square. We'll see everyone at hole 5 in just a minute. Back hole 5, it's a par 3, 240 feet long, and Jimmy Elkins does have the tee. We are all square after hole 4. And he throws a backhand turnover, a little high though, and it hits that branch and kicks to the left side of the fairway. So he'll have some work to do from there. Here's Clint Wright with his tee shot, hole 5. And Clint also with the backhand turnover shot, also high, but maybe a little bit further right than what he had hoped. So didn't hear it hit any trees, but he might have quite a bit of work to do from his lie as well. So we'll know more once we get around this bend. It's par 5, it's a 240-foot par 3, and it's a very slight bend from the tee to the basket. You can't really see the basket from the long tee once the foliage is growing up, which is the case here this week for our semifinal matches in the Woodland Park local bracket. But generally speaking, the left side of the fairway is a little more open than the right. Good news for Clint Wright, though, is that as you move closer to the basket, the right side does open up. So
to see if he has a lane to the basket. Looks like Jimmy Elkins has found his disc. And he's about 35, 40 feet from the basket. But he does have an opportunity to sink one of his trademark putts. Here's Jimmy Elkins, second shot, hole 5. And he goes with the straddle putt. It had the distance just slightly right of the chains, but definitely an easy cleanup range for his 3. And Clint Wright has found his disc. It went a little long and right. It is behind a line of some smaller trees. So not an easy second shot to try to get into the chains, but I'd expect to see him give it a go here. Here's Clint Wright, second shot, hole 5. And it's in. Great 2 there by Clint Wright from the rough. He takes hole 5 and is now 1 up. And we'll be at hole 6 in just a minute. Back hole 6, it's a par 3, 355 feet, and the road to the right is out of bounds. It's downhill all the way to the basket, and like we said, wind is a factor, so both competitors will be taking that into account with their disc selection. You do not want the wind to get a hold of your disc and carry it OB in the road. So Clint Wright does have the tee. He is 1 up. And let's watch. And he goes with a big hyzer backhand. Smart play there to put the hyzer on. It's going right at the basket. It's an ace! Wow, the first ace ever in match play history here at Woodland Park. And Clint Wright has it. Great shot there by Clint Wright. And this one is captured for the ages. So Jimmy Elkins has to ace to push this hole. And Jimmy with a powerful backhand shot, and the wind is capturing it. Wow, it's carrying it hard left into the brush towards 7 long. But wow, what a treat there, ladies and gentlemen. Clint Wright takes hole 6 with an ace. He is now 2 up. We'll be at hole 6 in just a minute. Capture this moment. Clint Wright retrieving his disc from hole 6. Looks like it was a Firebird. He's getting a picture with his caddy. So congratulations, Clint Wright, on that ace, the first ace we've ever had in match play here at Woodland Park. And we'll be at hole 7's tee in just a minute. Okay, we're back hole 7, and this is par 3 through the trees down to the basket. Clint Wright is 2 up. He has the tee. With a smooth backhand shot there, and it hits the trees. He will have a look at it too from about 15-20 feet out. Here's Jimmy Elkins' tee shot, hole 7. And he turns it over a little bit, hits some brush, and we'll have to see if it skipped through into the fairway. But wow, what a match so far. We've seen some great shots, highlighted by that ace there by Clint Wright on hole 6. Definitely one of the top moments of the entire competition so far. I'm glad we were all able to watch that live here on camera. So it looks like Jimmy Elkins did make it through, so it's very good for him. He does have about 40 feet to get a 2 here on hole 7. Here's Jimmy Elkins. It's up. It had the distance, just a few links left of the chains. So good run there by Jimmy Elkins. Clint Wright has an opportunity to take hole 7. Looks like he might have to straddle around the trees. But no trouble for him. Right in the chains. He's taken 3 in a row. Clint Wright is now 3 up. And we're heading to hole 8 in just a minute. We're back hole 8. This is a 240-foot par 3. Road to the right is out of bounds. Clint Wright has the tee. He's 3 up.
I feel like I'm playing one.
Alright, and Clint Wright goes with a low backhand hyzer, and it skips smoothly off the road into the fairway, but then rolls right into the ditch. But it's still in bounds. He's going to have a good 40 feet back to the basket. So Jimmy Elkins now with his tee shot and an opportunity. Great backhand shot there, slightly turns over, and he will be about 25 feet from the basket. But it did land in the ditch, so footing could be a little trickier than if it had skipped just a couple of feet farther to the basket, but still well within Jimmy Elkins' range. And this is his opportunity to stop the bleeding and right the ship. So historically, hole 8 out here at Woodland Park is the easiest scoring hole on the course. It consistently ranks as a hole that you need to get a birdie on in tournaments and other competitive events out here. So it looks like that is going to be the same thing for both of these gentlemen here today. And Clint Wright from the ditch with his second shot to try to get a 2 on hole 8. Let's watch. It has the distance, but it hits the band and down, so he'll have a tap in for 3. This is Jimmy Elkins' window to get a hole back on Clint Wright. And tricky footing there, disc released just a bit low. It had the power, but it looks like they are both going to give each other the tap in there for 3. Hole 8 is a push. Clint Wright's still 3 up, and we're heading over to hole 9 in just a minute. 9, 247-foot par 3 up the hill to the basket. Clint Wright is 3 up, and he still has the tee. And he went with a backhand just to the right of the tree line, and it is a beautiful shot. Skips up within 10 feet of the basket. He is parked. So pressure's on Jimmy Elkins here. He has to get it close. Here he is with his tee shot, hole 9. Also elects to go just right of the trees in front of the tee pad, hyzer, and it skipped up pretty nicely. He's in decent position, it looks like. He'll have a good 25 feet back to the basket. There are some trees up there that guard the right side of the fairway from a clean approach to the basket, so we'll have to see exactly what Jimmy's looking at up there from his lie, but well within his ring of confidence and the distance we've seen him confidently putt from at events here at Woodland Park. But this is going to be a putt he has to make because Clint Wright is parked. As we approach the halfway point of the course here at Woodland Park, it's fitting to think back about what we've seen so far. We've seen some great drives, we've seen wind affecting a few of the shots, and we've also witnessed an ace. Great putting. All in all, a great opening 9 holes of this match for both competitors. We've had a little bit of everything. Here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot in hole 9. And it had the power. Looks like it went just wide of the chains. So he'll have about 25 feet back. And it looks like he has conceded the hole to Clint Wright. Clint Wright takes hole 9. He's now 4 up. And we're heading to hole 10's tee here in just a minute. Welcome back. We're at hole 10, Woodland Park. It's a 502-foot par 4 all the way through these trees and to the basket by the road. Clint Wright is 4 up. He has the tee. backhand shot there. Wind caught it just a bit. It popped up, hit an early branch. So tough kick there for Clint Wright. Jimmy Elkins now with his tee shot, hole 10. Wind is picking up. Got a little gusty just as Jimmy Elkins released, but looks like he hit a few trees, but it kicked out in the middle of the fairway, just in front of the red tee pad here on hole 10. So he'll be in pretty good shape, all things considered, with the wind gusting like it did when he released it. But it looked like maybe he released it a little offline, or maybe he was hoping to turn it over just a little bit, but regardless, it worked out for him, all things considered. And Clint Wright is now approaching his lie, and he's going to have a little bit of strategizing to do here. Looks like he is just to the right and behind the short tee pad, so he's about 350 feet to the pin from here. Here's Clint Wright with his second shot. And he goes with a big backhand turnover that kicks off a tree, and he's in great shape. He'll have an opportunity to get a birdie, but definitely at least a par. So Jimmy Elkins here really needs to get his second shot close, put the pressure on Clint Wright. The road just beyond the basket is out of bounds, so that is one hazard that comes into play, especially match play, when you might be aggressive with your approach shot and trying to get it into the chains. So if Jimmy Elkins can park this close, he might bait Clint Wright into going for it OB, but we'll see what happens. Here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 10. And Jimmy Elkins elects to go with a backhand approach there, and he skips it up within probably 20 feet of the basket, so he will have a good look at a 3 here to try to take hole 10. So great shot there by Jimmy Elkins, well within his range. So now the decision falls to Clint Wright. Will he lay it up, or will he go for it? And wind is not as much of a factor. We're kind of in a lower portion of the course right this moment. So if Clint elects to go at the basket, he should be able to safely get it straight there. Here's Clint Wright, third shot, hole 10. It looks like he went for it, but it floats up and just to the left of the basket. So, opportunity for Jimmy Elkins here to take hole 10 with a 3 from 20 feet out. Here's Jimmy Elkins. It's just left, so tough break there for Jimmy Elkins. You can tell he really wanted that one. So here's Clint Wright to clean up with a 4 on hole 10. And he does just that. And Jimmy Elkins to get his 4 and push the hole. And it's in. Hole 10 is a push. Clint Wright still 4 up. We'll be at hole 11 in just a minute. Back, hole 11, 275-foot par 3, Clint Wright 4 up, he has the tee. And he went with a backhand shot. It's turning over though, hits a tree on the right side of the fairway, but kicks back left. Center fairway. He will have a long way from there to the basket. So, opportunity here for Jimmy Elkins with his tee shot at hole 11. And he goes with a turnover shot, but it's a little low. And he'll be in about the same position as Clint right there. So I think neither of these gentlemen are too pleased with their tee shots on hole 11. And looks like we're poised for a push here unless one of them decides to get aggressive and go for the jugular. Let's start to run out of holes here. With Clint Wright being 4 up. Start seeing Jimmy Elkins getting more aggressive the closer we get to hole 18. Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 11. Pretty strong headwind here. Looks like the wind has shifted around. Headwind didn't matter. Clint Wright straight into the right side of the chains. Great 2 there. Jimmy Elkins now with his attempt at a 2 to push hole 11. It had the distance just slightly to the right. So Clint Wright takes hole 11 with a 2. He is now 4 up, and we're heading to hole 12 right now. 270-foot par 3. Clint Wright 5 up. He has the tee. And he goes with a backhand hyzer, which looks like it hit a tree, and he'll have a little bit of work there to get to the basket. And here's Jimmy Elkins' tee shot, hole 12. He's going with a forehand shot down the right side, and it skips up nicely. He'll have a good look at the basket. So Jimmy Elkins within 30 feet for his second shot here on hole 12. And definitely an opportunity he does not need to pass up on. He has to hit this. Now as we get a little closer to the basket, you can see there are quite a few trees that guard the basket. There's also a road that's out of bounds just behind the basket. That shouldn't play much of a factor here, with both of these competitors being at an angle that allows them to go away from the road. But looks like Clint Wright is out, and if he can hit this putt, it's really going to put the clamps down on this match. So here's Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 12. And never mind, looks like they were pretty close. Looks like it's actually going to be Jimmy Elkins first up. So here's Jimmy Elkins, straddle putt, hole 12 for 2. Hits the band, and it is not in. It's a tough break again for Jimmy Elkins. And Clint Wright checking the wind. Here's his shot to win hole 12. And Clint Wright takes hole 12 with a straddle putt 2. He is now 6 up, and he's dormie. Jimmy has to win the rest of them. We'll be at hole 13 in just a minute. We're back hole 13, 265-foot par 3. Clint Wright is dormie, and he's 6 up. And looks like he'll be teeing off here in just a minute. Even though Jimmy's down by quite a bit, you can see him still having a good time. That's what this golf's all about. We always have a great time out here, regardless of whether you're winning or losing. But obviously like to win, but we're all friends, so good to see that. And here's Clint Wright with his tee shot, hole 13. And he has the opportunity to put this match away here. Jimmy Elkins has to win. And Clint Wright with a confident Anheuser shot, but it hits a tree. And it did look like it was heading at the basket. Strong quartering tailwind gust hit just as Clint Wright released that shot. So here's Jimmy Elkins' tee shot, hole 13. And he released that shot a little offline and hits a tree about halfway down the fairway on the left. So Jimmy Elkins' hopes of moving on to the finals are not looking too good at this moment. So he's basically going to need to run the disc in from his current position. So tough break again there for Jimmy Elkins. But Clint Wright has played an exceptional match. One of the best performances of the entire competition to this point. Okay, here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 13. And great shot there. He skips it up. It's within 7 feet of the basket, but he really needed a 2 on this hole in order to continue this match. Here's Clint Wright's second shot. And just a routine layup. And if Clint Wright makes this putt, he will win the match. So up and in, and Clint Wright wins the match 6 and 5, and we have a semifinal winner. Clint Wright will advance to the championship match this next week. So congratulations to Clint Wright. Great victory there. We'll be right back in a minute with player interviews. Stay tuned. All right, I'm here with Clint Wright, who just won the semifinal match over Jimmy Elkins, 6 and 5. Congratulations, Clint Wright. I'd say that was a very complete game there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. Got started kind of early. I knew after my round against Swiss that I was going to have to get started early. I couldn't afford to go down 3 after 3 again. Kind of started piecing some stuff together, and threw one in on 6.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of not only this match but the entire competition this year. What did it feel like watching that disc fly straight into the chains on 6?
Man, I thought it was too long. Out of my hand, I was telling it to get down, slow down, and flew it in. It stuck, man. It's fun.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Looks like you have punched your ticket to the local finals, and you'll be facing off against Seth Singleton later this month. What do you know about Seth? Do you have anything to say?
Seth does a good job helping run stuff around here, man. I haven't really had a chance to play very much golf with him. I know he's a good player. Like I said, it's going to be one of those things. I'm going to start kind of asking around a little bit, some of the local Muletown folk, and see if I can pick up some information about him, and you know, maybe get a game plan going where I know what holes I have to attack on, and some of the stuff I can kind of lay back. But before we get going, thanks Andrew Green, my caddy today, helped me carry the bag, did a good job, and thanks to you guys for putting all this stuff on. It's really cool.
Well, congratulations, Clint Wright. We're looking forward to that championship match in the coming weeks. And for now, we're going to sign off. Clint Wright wins this local semifinal 6-5 over Jimmy Elkins. Everyone have a great afternoon.